So you're running for state senate, District 21, I believe?
Correct.
What made you decide to run? Why are you running?
Because I actually felt like I didn't have a voice in my own community. Nothing stings like being discriminated against by your own people. So I felt like I didn't have a voice in my community. Well, I'm a former state prison guard. For 10 years, I worked at 2 different maximum security prisons.
Wow, I can see you doing that. Keeping everybody in line.
Yeah, there. You just said a key word there. Safety and security of the institution was my job. And they had this program. It was being run out of a church where one of the schools in the Antelope Valley were having trouble with the black and Hispanic inmates fighting each other. So I heard about the program and I thought, wow, I could use my talents there. They could use my assistance. And I went out there and we spoke and we had good communication and we talked about the positive things we could do. So after we spoke and the meeting cleared up, you know, they grabbed my hand and started praying. Everybody bowed their heads. You know, I didn't say anything. I just went along. And afterwards, though, I spoke to one of the leaders and informed them that I wasn't very religious. I was just here to try to help the children.
Right.
Well, after I went back home, they never called me back again, which kind of made me upset. It's like, wow, you guys, just because I don't think like you think, you would lose someone with my talent and professionalism and leadership to deal with the kids. You would rather see me walk away because I don't think like you.
So you felt they had discriminated against you based on religion?
Blatantly.
And what's wrong with that? If they are a Christian organization who believes in God and believe that God is the way out of this hell that these kids are going through, why would they bring in an atheist? It doesn't make sense. Most Christians believe that Satan is the problem, that he's influencing the kids in a negative way. Why would they bring in an atheist to work with them if they're a Christian?
Our schools are public. Those are public funds, tax-paying dollars. When you pay taxes, they don't ask you what religion you are. So this is why we need a separation of church and state. Now, would they be also telling everybody, all the children, how great that their God is? And would they be like recruiting them to come to their church?
Well, I can't speak for that particular
they shouldn't
group,
be.
But
that's why there's a separation of church and state. That's why the way I think in my religious orientation shouldn't make a difference in the program. The main objective was to keep the black and Hispanic kids from fighting each other.
So atheism is considered a religion, right?
No.
It's not a religion?
No.
No. Let me ask,
the
why
definition
did you,
is the non-belief of a deity.
You knew beforehand that once they found out that you were an atheist, that they were not going to take you in as a part of their group. Why did you even bother to go there? And then why do you go around them and do your own thing at the school?
No, actually, I was giving them a benefit of a doubt. So I went to the church thinking that, no, they wouldn't be discriminatory. They would look at the program and they would accept me no matter what.
I know, but you had to realize your thinking was wrong then. You were not thinking straight.
I wasn't thinking straight. I'm thinking of trying to help children.
I made the mistake of hiring an atheist. I would never do that again. And so,
just because they're an atheist?
No, not just because they're an atheist, but because they have they can't be trusted.
Atheists can't be trusted?
They have no foundation of love and honesty and truth to stand on. And so an atheist would do whatever the atheist feel like doing.
So you're sitting here basically telling me I have no love,
I don't know about you, but the ones
I'm an atheist, sir.
The ones I've dealt with. But my point is, if I'm a Christian and I know that a person admits that he or she believes in Satan, why would I want to work with that person on a daily basis, knowing that?
Why would I want to work with you?
Because they need,
knowing that you believe in a God
that
you can't present to anyone.
I would understand that. I wouldn't take it personally. I wouldn't think it's wrong for you to
Why can't we treat each other as human beings?
But I'll treat you well, but I just wouldn't let you minister to a group of kids who I know are already having problems with Satan. And so I'm going to bring the son of Satan to talk to them. Doesn't make sense. But anyway.
Wow.
That's why you're running, right? Because you want to change that.
Yeah.
But you're going to be discriminated against them.
Me discriminating against someone?
You're going to discriminate against the Christian. You just
No,
said
no.
it's
That's
discrimination
that's
wrong.
the thing about atheists. We don't discriminate.
It's discrimination wrong.
Discrimination is wrong.
It is wrong?
In all contexts.
And so,
yes, discrimination is wrong.
But you want to have religion. I read that you want religion out of the public square, right?
Correct.
Is
Correct.
that discrimination?
Discriminate depends on. Now, if you put
Depends
up,
on
if you're
what?
the mayor,
If you want to remove religion from the public square,
right?
is that discrimination?
No, that's not discrimination.
Why not?
That's part of the founding fathers' proclamation, because we have a separation.
You're
sir,
not being honest,
of church
Mr. Atheist.
And church and state.
See, I told you.
You keep the church and state separate.
So you want to?
So that's not being discriminatory.
Why? Why not?
Okay, will it be? It would be
Why not?
discriminatory
Tell
if
me
I was
why not.
if I was saying we want to keep Allah out of our government.
No.
Now that would be discriminatory. If I say we want to keep Christ out, that would be no. We want to keep religion as a whole out of our politics.
But why?
Why? Because everyone does not think the same or have the same beliefs.
And as a result, you want to discriminate.
No.
Right, because they don't have your same
No,
belief.
you're twisting words worse than Donald Trump up here, sir.
No, I'm not. Do you support transgender men and women going into bathrooms and showers and dressing rooms of choice?
Yes, I support them. They should have the right to go into any bathroom that they feel their orientation dictates.
So if a man is walking down the road and he decides, you know what, I just feel like a woman.
But see, that's being disingenuous
And
with the
he
whole
said,
with the whole
No,
conversation.
I'm not. No,
Yeah.
it's real. And he says,
Yeah,
I need
you don't
to
just
go.
walk down the road. This is a process.
I know, I understand,
most of
Bob.
these people from a very early age, and it's documented and researched, most of these human beings from a very early age have an identity for their sexual orientation. Now, it may not fit.
You know where that influence comes from.
No, sir, but you're going to let me know. Tell me.
Your father, the devil.
The father, the devil. Okay. Of course. Where else would it come from? The devil.
So this man walking down the road, all of a sudden he just feels like a woman. And now he needs to use the bathroom.
All of a sudden, he feels like a woman.
Right,
Okay.
he needs to use the bathroom. There's a bathroom over there. He goes over and he walks right into the woman's bathroom. Your daughter is sitting there using the bathroom. How would you feel about that?
My daughter's sitting there using the bathroom. She's going to be done in a second.
No, I
She's
said,
not
how
going
would you personally feel about that? This man walking in there, right, looking at your daughter.
Now, see, you guys,
He got to look at her.
This is what religious people do.
No, how would you feel
I would
about
assume
that?
she's sitting in a stall with the door closed.
Not all bathrooms have stalls. But how would you feel about that?
He's standing there looking at her.
Uh-huh.
Why wouldn't he be using the restroom what he came in there
But he's
for?
still going to be looking around. He's not going to sit there and close his eyes.
Around.
The question is, how would you feel about that?
I feel fine. I raised my kids to be very intelligent. Why is it always the religious people that feel they have the moral right and the justification to go in and decide what you should do in your bedroom and what you should do in the bathroom?
So you taught your daughter to be intelligent enough to sit there on that stall while this man is sitting there using it and looking at her.
My
and
children
you
are
as
very
a father
intelligent.
wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Wouldn't have a problem with it at all.
How about if your daughter just finished PE in high school? She's in the 10th, 11th grade, and there's some guy in the same class, and it's time to take a shower. This guy said, I feel like a girl. I want to take a shower with the girls. They all go into the girls' bathroom.
Okay.
And the boys and the girls getting naked, getting into the shower together. Would you be okay for your daughter to go through that process?
I'd be fine with it.
You know why I'm not surprised? Because Satan is your father.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
Hi, Dad.
So there are no limits, except for good. There are no limits as to what Satan will have his children to do.
As human beings, we need to apply common sense, dignity, and respect to all of these potential situations that you're speaking of.
How about the respect of the men and women who are not for that? They don't want a man or a woman walking into their showers.
Well, that's why it's a
into
democracy.
Their bathrooms.
This is why we have a democracy and a
What
Supreme
about
Court.
the respect for those people?
They have rights, of
Should
course.
they be
They have
treated-
rights too.
but
They have
should
the
they be-
right to not concern themselves with what goes on in the privacy of a bathroom or a bedroom.
Should they be respected?
Everyone's rights should be respected.
And so when
but
out
there's
of
certain
nowhere
things
you got
that you get out of your Bible.
When out of nowhere the government create this rule that you can use whatever shower or bathroom you want to, just impose on the folks who disagree with that, are they respecting those people?
Everyone's rights should be respected.
Are those people being respected who disagree with that?
Yes, they're not being disrespected.
Why is that?
Because what happens in the privacy of a bathroom?
It's not a bathroom is a public place.
A bathroom
if
is a
it's
public
outside
place.
of your home.
So take a camera into a bathroom. See how
well, you know
see how it goes for you.
You know that's already happening with these so-called transgender people, right? Do you believe transgender is a mental illness, or you think Satan?
I believe religion is a mental illness.
So would you have a problem with your wife shower with a man in a? Your wife go to the gym?
Yeah, she sure does.
She works out, right?
Yes.
And let's say there's some guys in there who say they feel like women, even though there's no proof, but they just say they just feel
feeling feminine today.
Right.
Want to go in
because
and
they
take
looked over and they saw your wife and she was so fine.
She's beautiful.
She probably take Pilates and all that, you know.
Yeah.
And they said, "Wow, I feel like showering with the women today. I feel like a woman." Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Be absolutely fine with it.
So you're not even there to protect your wife
because I know my wife
from the invaders.
How would they be invaded? They're transgender. We're talking about transgender people.
What is a transgender to you?
To me, it's someone who was born with the anatomy of the opposite sex. And it could happen. The chemical makeup in the brain, the research determined all of this, that they actually identify as the opposite sex.
Black Lives Matter. You heard of Black Lives Matter? I'm rushing a little because of time.
Yes, sir.
It's a radical, agitated black group of people. How do you feel about them?
Well, you know, they call Martin Luther King radical also.
How about Black Lives Matter?
I think it's good to see the youth stand up and be active. Working 10 years at 2 different maximum security prisons, I can tell you that the prisons in California are full of blacks and Latinos.
Right.
African-American males make up only 6% of the state population, but we make up 46% of the prison population.
Why so many in jail, in prison?
Why? Because of our capitalistic society. You have hyper-segregation in these urban areas with no jobs, no opportunities, very little hope, and then you expect for them to, not survive. They're doing crimes of survival.
You're saying that they're killing each other like this. In Chicago, it's gone up 80% since the police backed down. You're saying they're doing it because of capitalism?
No, I'm saying they're doing it out of a lack of opportunity. If those same young men had education and jobs, they wouldn't have to look at the gang or the drug route. They wouldn't have to. That wouldn't be their only option.
Let me ask you something.
You guys always talk about blacks killing blacks. What do we kill blacks with? With guns, right?
Yeah, that's
we
what
kill a lot of each other with guns.
Right.
Any of you guys ever ask the question, where do we get our guns at? How many African American gun manufacturers do we have in the United States? 0.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Where are we getting our guns at?
Let me say this to you. One thing you don't know is that I was raised on a plantation.
You were raised on a plantation?
Yeah, down in Alabama, under Jim Crow laws. And we were restricted from living in certain areas. But blacks were poor. We never stole. We never killed each other. It wasn't happening then. We respected each other. We worked hard and did what we had to do. We went to all black schools. The killing, the raping, the robbing, and having all these babies out of wedlock. There were some kids born out of wedlock, but it wasn't like it is today. And blacks had less opportunity then than they do now. So how do you explain that it wasn't happening then, but it is today?
I'm gonna explain it like this. You're saying blacks do all of this. Did you know that Latinos have children out of wedlock? Did you know that whites have children out of wedlock? You're pigeonholing a whole ethnic group into everything that's wrong.
Not all, but most.
Yes, you are.
Not all, but most.
You have any stats?
But we brought up.
Can you Google some of this that you're talking about?
We brought up black people about Black Lives Matter when we talked about Black Lives Matter. I gotta ask, when Black Lives Matter were chanting, what do we want? Pigs in the blanket. What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them? Now. Marching in New York. Did you agree with that?
No, I didn't agree with that, but
that
was
that
not
wrong?
Black Lives Matter.
Yes, it was. Was
No,
it
wasn't.
wrong?
They were not active members of Black Lives
Was
Matter.
it
Those
wrong?
are people
No,
that joined the
no,
parade.
No, it wasn't. It's Black Lives Matter, buddy.
No.
Did you agree with that?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I'm a former peace officer myself.
You better say that.
I'm a former peace officer myself.
It was just discovered that one of the fundraisers of Black Lives Matter and a member of the organization was, raising all this money for the organization,
Correct.
while at the same time pimping out a 17-year-old black girl.
Okay. You're looking at me like that's my fault.
What do you think about that?
But that's horrible.
Is it evil?
Who would do that?
A Black Lives Matter guy.
Okay. But what does that have to do with Steve Hill?
But you like Black Lives Matter. You think that this group is a good group, and it's not.
What do you think about the Ku Klux Klan? The Ku Klux Klan is a Christian organization.
The
What do you think
same
about
thing
them?
as Black Lives Matter. They're no different. Do you believe in the Constitution?
Yes, I do. Yes, sir.
Well, the founding father, John Adams, said, our Constitution was made only for moral and religious people, and that it won't work to govern any other type of people. Our founding fathers believe the same.
Can I pull up a couple of quotes from Thomas Jefferson now?
What do you have to say?
Because he said something contradictory.
What do you have to say about that?
I say our founding fathers, most of them wanted a secular government, and that's exactly what we have.